Good morning, y'all. Good morning. We are getting after it. So send this out. Sorry, guys, 1 second here. I always find this backlight always kind of like distracts. It's too shiny. All right. So we're getting after our cardio here. So we're just doing pretty easy. We're doing a 3.2 speed, 6.5 incline. And we're getting after it. It's a weird world, man. Found this like decent band. They have a lot of their own stuff, but they do some covers and stuff too. I've been trying to watch them, but I can't really watch them on stream because it seems like every time I try, my stream gets muted. So back to the no copyright music, but they're called Altered, like owl, OWLTERED, and basically the lead singer is always in like a giant owl costume. Kind of ridiculous, but he's pretty good. He covered some. I think I told you guys on my stream yesterday on my lift that I've been listening to this band President for a while. They're pretty awesome. He does a couple of pretty good covers of some of their songs that I like. So I'm always confused about what I can and can't put on stream, but yeah, we had it's a good question I can drop for today. Been trying to put like different questions on stream. There you go. Favorite movie of all time. Let's hear from you guys what your favorite movie is. But yeah, if you guys get a chance, check them out. Altered. They do like an acoustic cover of Fearless, which is like one of my favorite President songs right now. Super interesting song. Again, guys, we're just getting after it. You don't need to work out. You buff AF. You need a cheeseburger. Thanks, Reese. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Yeah, appreciate that. It took a long road to get here again. I'm an older man, and I got really out of shape after having kids and career and stuff. But used to compete a lot in my younger years, and over the last little bit, fighting to get back in shape and healthy for my little ones. Yeah, and I'm pretty dedicated with it. Sorry, had a bit of a crash there. Yeah, I actually had Frank Rendo, what's going on? Reese Jones, hey. If you guys could drop a like, a subscribe, it would be a huge help. I'd be forever grateful. We have a pretty cool community of people we're building here. But that's kind of the story. That's where, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like it's easy to see now that it looks like I'm kind of in a good spot, but yeah, I wasn't there for a while. And that's kind of it. Like I'm trying to do this to help other people, and hopefully you're gonna sub. Thanks, Riz. I really appreciate that. But yeah, this is just, so far it's turned into just really cool people. Like this community is growing pretty steadily and I love it. And if I can help you guys with anything to do with like health, fitness, nutrition, supplements, or even lately, a lot of the community members have just been going through rough patches in life. Awesome. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Man is just my blanket term if you get to know me. If you're a boy or girl, I say it to everybody. I like pretty much just love having good people here. But yeah, we're going through like a couple of our people in our community. Someone just lost their dad. Another one just went through a relationship that ended. He unfortunately found out his ex cheated on him and stuff. And yeah, I just want this to be a community of like support, positivity, whatever we're going through, and just a place we can come hang out and work through stuff together. And I guess kind of unfortunately have been through quite a bit of stuff. Like I'm 40, so I'm like an older guy, but yeah, if I can offer like anything in terms of experience or stuff I've been through, I like to do that. Because I think a lot of things that matter to people, we put like this really big label on, right? Like even getting fit, I think a lot of people put this huge label on it, like it's a super difficult thing, and there's all these like roadblocks, and it's really hard. And I don't think it has to be that way. I think it's just, things. So that's why I try to have this community, fun stuff, fun questions. So how do you have the name Baddiedaddy? Oh, so yeah, when I was training for the show, I just did the show in October. And yeah, basically my wife and I were talking, and it was like kind of a joke, like, you're a baddie now, because I went from like, I gained a bunch of weight. I was 270 pounds at like 38-40% body fat, so quite overweight when I started. And I'd always been like the fit guy, the athlete, and like, you went from fat to a baddie. And then just, yeah, a dad too. So dad of 2 girls. So just kind of stuck Baddiedaddy. And then the diaries is just, this like follows, if you've seen any of my shorts, or I stream like 8 times a week. 3 times are cardio like this, and then 5 times doing my weights, lifting. So we just went with Baddiedaddydiaries, and yeah, it just kind of stuck, and it's in there. When we did my show, my daughter had a shirt that had like a little picture of me, and it said, Baddiedaddy's my daddy, and stuff like that. So I've had some people join the stream and say they think it's cringe or whatever, which is fine. Doesn't bother me any. I think it's funny. But that's how it came to be. And then if you ever get a chance to see, like, we have an Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, all that. And if you ever get a chance to see it, my wife's kind of the, what's the word? Design genius behind all that. So yeah, it's pretty good. But that's how we came up with it. But everybody on here knows my name is Chris. Tell everybody I'm pretty open that you're welcome to call me Chris if Baddiedaddy's a weird Some people feel weird calling me that in the chat, so. Which I get. What are you, Reese? Where are you from? I'm from Canada, by the way, just in case you're wondering. And this is my basement, my home gym. Have pretty much everything I need to, hit the goals. Unfortunately, my adjustable dumbbells broke yesterday, so I'll have to get new ones there, but for the most part, we're pretty good. We can still do everything we need to do. Talking about favorite movies, I have like different ones from different like genres. I'm a big comic book guy. So, and music. A little bit of a nerd, but my favorite movie of all time is Goodfellas. If you guys haven't seen it, you should check it out. It's really good. Then I'd say my favorite, like semi-recent movie. That's a harder one. So everything kind of blends together, but I forget the name of it, but it's kind of like a thriller with Anthony Hopkins and Ryan Gosling in it. But it's really good too. You can watch it on Netflix too. I forget the name of it, but that's probably my favorite recent one. I'd love to hear from you guys what your favorite movie is. And yeah, guys, if you're new here and you sub, I will sub back. My thing is always, as long as your channel's public and I can see, I'll sub back as soon as I can see it. Our goal is 200 subs. Right now, we're trying to get this like up as much as we can, push it out in the algorithm. So if you're stopping in, drop a like. 200 subs is 50 push-ups straight through. That's a commitment I made to the community here. So hopefully we hit that soon enough. You guys can watch me struggle through 50 push-ups, banging them out. I find one thing the streaming's helped is like I'm not a massive cardio fan. Obviously, I do it because it's part of the program. That's just how I always am. Like if it's in my program, I'll do it. But yeah, I used to dread it. I used to not look forward to doing it at all. But now that I got a pretty good community of people, my cardio streams are probably the least popular. Like I have the least flow of like traffic and people coming onto them. But I also find that Nia, what's going on? Good morning. How are you? I also find that like being on and doing the stream while I do my cardio has been like super beneficial for me, like mentally. I don't even realize, like I'm just doing my thing, chatting with you guys, hanging out, and before I know it, 30 minutes is gone. What time is it in Canada? It's 6:30 in the morning right now. So bright and early. That's okay, because we got a lot to do today. Taking my oldest daughter to see the Mario movie with a bunch of her friends. So I got to get after it pretty early. Then hopefully she'll be tired out by the time that's over and I can come home and train arms on stream with you guys later this afternoon. But that's the plan. Yeah, 6:30 in the morning right now, bright and early. Getting it in. Again, guys, please drop a like. We're trying to run the likes up and subscribes. We're trying to hit that 200 mark. So I have to do 50 push-ups straight for you guys once we hit it. Goal is by the end of May. We're moving pretty well in that direction, so I think we'll hit it. I know we have a favorite movie as the question today, but music-wise too, if you guys are ever feeling down and you want some like moody music, The Smiths, check them out. They're probably one of my favorite bands from the sad Euro pop era. Abel Ghost, what's going on? How you doing? Thanks for being here, brother. Hope things are going well. Hope you're having a good start to your day. We're moving. We're up bright and early. My wife and I swapped spots. She went to sleep and I woke up. So that's okay. I'll have to look after these kiddos as soon as I'm done this, pretty much, and it'll be good. Sorry, I disconnected. No, it's okay, Nia. Appreciate you being here. I was just talking like favorite movie, favorite music. I was saying if you guys are ever feeling like a little down and moody and you want kind of music for when you're feeling sad and moody, check out The Smiths. The Queen is Dead is one of my favorite albums, but sad British pop music. From Today, I'm going to the gym. Amazing, Abel Ghost. That's amazing. Super pumped to hear that. Again, if you have Insta, Abel Ghost, and you want some help with like direction and what to do, and let me know. My favorite music is Gorillaz. Yeah, you're saying Feel Good Inc. is a good song. I actually saw them live at Coachella one year. Just a big music festival. They're good. You're going to gymnastics today? Nice. Gymnastics, geez, I can't speak. Gymnastics is awesome. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, for sure, Abel Ghost. Anything you need. I can help you with understanding like diet and calculating your macros and all that stuff. I think a lot of people make it out to be really hard, and it doesn't need to be. But yeah, gymnastics is awesome, but my mom is tying my hair and it hurts. Oh, yeah. I think my daughters go through that when I tie their hair too. Godfather. Godfather's a good movie. Really good flick. Yeah. Of all the mom movies, though, as mentioning my favorite is Goodfellas. It's just based on like a true story. It's it's really good. Yeah, it hurts to get your hair tied tight. I know. Sorry you're going through that, Nia, but it's worth it, right? It's better than getting it caught while you're doing gymnastics. My oldest daughter, we had her in gymnastics for a little bit, but she was getting this thing called nursemaid's elbow, and we had to take her out. But usually that goes away by 4, and she's past that now, and she hasn't had the. Basically, what happens is the 2 bones in her arm, they'd flip, and like one would dislocate, and I'm sure it would be super painful, but she hasn't had it in a long time. So, and she still likes gymnastics, so we might take her back. Favorite movie is Stranger Things and Shirobako. Yeah, I know Shirobako. That's awesome. Do you like superhero movies? I do. I love superhero movies. I am a big fanatic when it comes to that stuff. 3 likes and 3 people. Yeah. Right now. Appreciate that. How is she now? Oh, she's good. So she hasn't had that thing happen in a while. It's this really weird thing. It's like, so the first time it happened, because like, you know me, I'm totally against like 2 people and 4 legs. Nice. Like basically it happens for just no reason, just angle. Apparently, like when you're young, your ligaments are like really loose, or joints are really loose. I'm sure growth plates haven't come in yet. 4 people, 4 likes. Nice. We're getting there. More likes, guys. Please drop likes, subscribe. I'll subscribe back. We're trying to hit 200. When we get to 200, I owe you guys 50 push-ups straight. And I do subscribe back, so appreciate you. All the likes just help us get seen. So drive them up if you can. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, and so the first time was actually me. So I felt like the worst dad in the world. We were at a restaurant for someone's lunch, like someone's birthday lunch. And she went to step off to like run into the parking lot, which obviously I couldn't allow because I don't want her to get hit by a car. So I just kind of stuck my hand out and grabbed her hand. I didn't like pull or anything like that, but just grabbed her hand. And yeah, she just started screaming. And like instantly I was like, I felt horrible. What I do? And she wouldn't stop crying and screaming. So we put her in the car. We took her to the hospital. And then obviously there I felt terrible. I'm like, I swear to God, like I didn't pull on her. I didn't whatever. I just didn't want her to run to the road. And they're like, no, it's fine. We get it. We know. And they were the ones that told us initially, they're like, we think it's this. If it is, like, you'll see it happen more. And then, yeah, it just kept happening more. Like my father-in-law, she was running up the stairs. He was like, here, baby. And he put his hand out and she reached for him and it just happened. She's at gymnastics and her teacher tried to like take her hand to take her to the next exercise. And it happened. So after about 3 or 4 times, we asked the doctor, like, what are we doing? We can't keep, like, you have to reduce it, right? So you have to like, so no, you didn't have to get a cast put on or surgery. Basically, you just trap the elbow to her side. You kind of turn the hand while you're pushing back into the joint. And it just like kind of flips. So basically, your radial ulna are like this kind of, right? What happens is the top one kind of flips off and it's dislocated like that. So you just kind of push it in and twist and it like kind of clicks back into place. So, but yeah, she's good. And so like they always said, like once she hits 4 or 5 years old, tendons start to tighten and growth plates start to come in and it usually stops. And yeah, I think so, because she hasn't had it happen in a long time and she does crazy stuff now. She grabs onto like chin-up bars and like flies around, pulling herself up and at the park and whatnot. And so yeah, she didn't need any plastic surgery, any surgery or not plaster or cast. She was good. They were right. So because she's been good, we've talked to her about what she wants to do. So we took her out of gymnastics, put her in soccer. She had fun, but she's not really like the aggressive athletic type like me. So she like didn't really, she had fun at soccer, but you know, yeah, you see what you're saying? Yeah, that's awesome. But no, so she's better, but she kind of fell out of love with soccer unless she's just like running around playing with me at the park. So we asked her if she wants to go back to gymnastics or dance, and she's really taken into art, which is good. All right, Nia, good luck at gymnastics. Have a good one. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Have fun. Yeah, so just a weird occurrence, right? Sometimes you gotta take life as it comes, and that was one of those things where like super scary in the moment. We've had a few things like that. I think that's what happens like when you have kids, right? Like stuff you don't even realize happens in normal life happens. So oh yeah, I did see that. Is there corruption in Canada? Yeah, I think so. I think there's corruption pretty much everywhere. We're probably at the lower end of corruption. But yeah, I think pretty much every country there's a good amount of corruption, unfortunately. I think it's just nature of human nature, unfortunately, that like these people get put in positions of power. And it's kind of the same thing I was saying about like president or prime minister. It's a dumb job overall, because you can't expect this one person with their life experiences to, you know, do what's best for hundreds of thousands or millions of people. Just doesn't, it's not possible, right? And yeah, kind of the same way I look at this community, right? Like I've had a ton of good and not good experiences. So like, hopefully I can share while you guys are going through stuff, and vice versa. I'll talk to you guys about stuff that I'm going through, and hopefully you've had experience to share. And that's what I think like a real good future of like governance, or the real good future of a system that works for everybody would be, right? Is you kind of have a system of multiple people with multiple experience and different backgrounds, right? To me, that makes the most sense. Because I think of just like, think of president, right? Like, just look at the absolute clown show that's going on down there in the US right now. And it's pretty easy to see why, right? Like, you distill everything down. This country of hundreds of millions of people, you distill it down to like two like ideologies, two parties, and then you distill that even further down to one person, right? But yeah, there's definitely corruption in Canada for sure. Like, we run into a big problem up here is housing. Very, very hard to buy and own a house in Canada. We have, of the top, I think it's the top 20 most expensive cities in the world. We're like 5 or 6 of them to live. And part of that's due to the corruption, right? Like, just talking about in my area alone, we had this, basically, we're one of the only big cities in the world where, like in Toronto, only big cities in the world that has like a very underdeveloped transit system. Our transit system for like the city core is good. It's very straightforward, easy to get to where you're going. But as soon as you hit like the very edges of the city, nothing. It's like impossible. So to get to that city system, that's why a lot of people, if you look at like London, like the other big cities around the world, London, New York, pretty much anywhere, they have really good transit systems to get in and out of the city. So we had like a rough framework of a system, and they basically invested something crazy. It was like $30 billion, like some ungodly number of our money, right? Our tax money that we've put in, not of their own money out of their pockets. And then like, lo and behold, like a few months into it, there's a bunch of delays. Work hasn't started. And they start finding out that the like government that's in place was giving these contracts to their friends and their friends' companies to build this thing. And these guys had zero experience in building a transit system or the rules. So it ends up that they spent like this 30 to 50 billion of our like tax dollars on this system that was supposed to like revolutionize our transit. It ended up taking like, it's not even open now fully, but so far it's taken like 6 years. Yeah, to help each other out for sure. But, and to some point I expect that, right? Like, I think I'd be less mad like when people are like, oh my God, can you believe he gave the contracts to his friends? Like, yeah, of course I believe that. I support my friends. I have a bunch of my friends from high school, even acquaintances that have businesses and stuff. And always my thought is, if I can first support a friend or an acquaintance, the world's weird, man. Like, I even noticed it doing this. Is like my best friend said, he's like, yeah, you know, I'm like, yeah, I noticed you're not on my stream a lot. I have a lot of good friends that are, and a lot of good family and close family members that are. But it's just the way people think about things are weird. Like, he's kind of right. He's like, you know, I don't do it for my close friends because they can just call me and get the information, right? But my first thought is, if I see a small business from someone I know and I like, I just want to support them first, right? So I get that part of it. But I feel like at the expense of, you know, at the expense of like, here's 50 billion of taxpayer dollars to do something you've never done before and you're not certified in, that to me is a bridge too far. And that like You asked about corruption. To me, that rises to the level of corruption, right? And to be honest, I think the whole system, the whole the whole financial North American dream system is corrupt, to be honest. Like the way everything was sold and then moved out. And I think the funny thing is you hear the boomer yeah, 100%. That's a great way to put it. Yeah. Because we can move the needle, right? Like that's the one thing. If you ever get a chance, there's a book called 1984 by George Orwell. And it's like a dystopian, like crazy future. Everybody's recorded everywhere you go. Not super crazy now because it's kind of what the world is, but yeah, it's this crazy dystopian future type story, but kind of the central theme of the book. Same with V for Vendetta. If you guys have ever read that, that's a really good graphic novel. There's a good movie. If you guys talking movies, that's a good one to watch. In terms of superhero movies, it's kind of like an anti-hero movie, but really, really good. But the general theme, the core theme of that is that like people underestimate the difference that large groups of people can make. They overestimate the power at the top, right? And yeah, there's been tons of good examples over time, right? And that's why they do things like you guys see what's happening with ICE and stuff like that. And I think if you're a realist, like what's happening with ICE, in the States, I think if you're a realist and you look at that anyway, but objectively, it's nuts. It's insane. Right? And you can call it what you will. You can call it like immigration law. You can call it whatever. But the reality is the tactics are, you know, how much do you keep the incline at? So right now I do 6.5 incline, 3.2 speed is what I stay at right now for 30 minutes, 3 times a week. And you'll see as we go, that's going to increase a little bit here and there. But yeah, as I was saying, like, so I think we as people need to start holding some of these governments accountable, right? Whatever that looks like. So, and that's what those books and like that movie is kind of the central theme of it, is that like we can move the needle. And you've seen it in times like when they cut funding for disabled people in the US, the news of Nepal. No, can you let me know what's going on in Nepal? I can probably look it up, but I'll look it up after this. But is everything okay? Hopefully people are okay, but it's kind of, yeah, like to me, you see a whole bunch of like governments and government officials making these decisions that influence like entire, what's the word? Like entire factions or entire races of people, which is crazy. Like I get, and this is the thing, maybe I don't know as much. This is the part where I'm a realist and I don't claim to be the smartest guy in the world or know everything, but like looking at Israel, um, Gaza, Iran, Lebanon, that whole thing is, Israel is claiming like a moral high ground where like, well, they did this to us for years, for them like basically genociding this entire race of people. And then like you have Ghazians and like Lebanese and stuff, people saying like, well, yeah, but like that was before, and like we had like they're like holy wars essentially, right? And like not to whatever, like it doesn't absolve them of that. But then what's going to happen, right? Like you're going to make these generations of kids and people that are going to be, they're going to hate everything Israeli, and yeah, they're going to hate everything Israeli, and then they're going to do the same thing that Israel's doing now to them, and then to a decade from now, the same thing's going to happen again. Israel's going to come back and be like, well, they did this to us, and then flip it again after a decade or two, and it's going to be like, well, yeah, well, Israel did this to us, and it's like the kids pulling each other's hair. At what point does like the adult in the room step up and be like, okay, how about you both just sit down and shut up and stop? And I know this is simplified, and I don't want anybody who's of Israeli background or Gazian background or whatever to think I have a hate on for either one of them. But at some point, because I don't hate anybody. Um, but at some point, yeah, there needs to be an adult in the room that says, okay, stop. Like, just stop killing each other. Like, let's give each other like a generation or two to live. Like, have a generation or two, live, see what like life is like without bombs over your head every 2 minutes. Let's see if you guys can actually grow an economy. Let's see if you guys can actually make things better for yourselves fiscally and morally and stuff like that. Like, instead of just like, it's this power grab. Like, well, they took this land from us, so they took this land from us, and like nobody took any land from anybody. There's just land that was here, and ever since there's been a bunch of people squabbling over how much of it they own and like for what, right? We have a big baby supporting Israel. Who's the big baby? You mean me? Oh, you mean Trump? Yeah, big orange baby supporting Israel. Yeah, that's happening. That's a thing. Um, but yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't get it. Like, I mean, at some point, Trump. Yeah, yeah. It took me a second there in my brain. It's too early in the morning for me, man. 6 in the morning. Um, yeah, I think at some point, like my big kind of talk is everybody's got to get a chance. You know what I mean? And it just seems like in a lot of these countries, nobody's getting a chance. It's just like, just think of like, it's easy from like where I sit now in Canada, where like there's no real aggressions. The worst thing I have to worry about is like one or less than 1% of the population that are just bad people, because that's a reality anywhere you go, right? You can point to crime statistics, you could say this, you could say that, but the reality is anywhere in the world, there's going to be 1-ish% of people that are just bad people. It's just reality, right? That's what police are for. That's what jails are for. We all know this. And you do your best to stay away from those people. But like, imagine being in like Gaza, imagine being in Israel or Lebanon or Iran, and you're just trying to live your life, right? You're trying to take your kids to school. So now what you do for the whole day? Yeah, so today, Saturday here, my girls are off school. So I'm going to take my daughter to see a movie with a bunch of her friends. I kind of coordinated with the parents, with my wife, and we're going to take them to see the Mario movie and play at the park and hang out, and then hopefully tire her out enough to come back for her to have a nap, and then